deep vein thrombosis this morning. And to assist me in my health topic this morning, we have Dr. Bote, our resident celebrity doctor.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. And you?
I'm good, thank you very much. First up, before we get into the health segment, have you ever been chased by a gold digger?
Yeah.
You have. It's very frightening, isn't it?
Very frightening.
Just like Galamsey.
Yeah.
Keep on saying. Anyway, let's get into our health segment. And we're talking about deep vein thrombosis. Not a lot of people know exactly what it is. But recently we had, I believe it was Goldie from Big Brother Africa who passed away on a flight of deep vein thrombosis, which shed a little bit of light onto the ailment, and a lot of people started to be more aware of it. But first off, just to inform everybody, what is deep vein thrombosis?
Yeah, that sounds like a big word, thrombosis. Commonly people call it DVT.
DVT.
Yeah, deep vein thrombosis. As we saw from the clip, actually, you have your lower extremities. Mm-hmm. When your body uses the tissue, the oxygen and nutrients in your blood, the blood has to go back to the heart to get refill of oxygen and other nutrients. Mm-hmm. The arteries take the blood away from your heart to your body. The veins have to take them back. Now, unfortunately or fortunately, the veins don't have much muscle like the arteries. So the veins are not able to contract and push the blood by itself.
Okay.
So working against gravity from your lower extremities is even more difficult.
Right.
So it so happens that the muscles in our calf and our legs and our thigh, as they contract, they help push the blood upwards. As we see from the clip. Now, when you have a cut or have any injury, you see blood coming, usually from the capillaries and the superficial veins. There are some veins that are superficial. Now, these superficial ones connect to the deep veins inside your legs through what we call perforator veins. They perforate through and then connect to the deep veins, which eventually carry the blood up to your popliteals and then the upper parts.
Are those the arterial veins?
They are veins.
Veins.
The arteries are muscular. They take blood away from the heart to distribute to the body.
Okay.
Those that carry blood from other parts of the body to the heart are the veins. Okay. So now, because of the fact that the blood is going to move against gravity, things can easily fall, but things cannot easily rise.
Yeah.
If they are not forced to rise, you have to force something or throw something up to be able to rise. Now, the muscles in our calf, the gastrocnemius, all these muscles there, as we walk about, they contract, and that's how they come. How come they're able to push the blood up?
Back up.
As your muscles, you play football, you walk about, your muscles are contracting. It ends up pushing these, or contracting these veins for the blood to go up.
Okay.
If it so happens that by any means there is restricted movement of your lower extremities, or there's a situation where your body has a tendency to have blood clotting at a much faster rate than normal, which we call hypercoagulability, then you are likely to form a clot in the vein. In any case, if as you walk about, blood is the blood is going up and down all over your body, but as long as you're in motion, you are not likely to form clots. But then, anytime there's slowing of movement of blood, if I bleed here and soon it will clot.
Yes.
There are factors that encourage the blood to clot. So anytime there's slowing of movement of these muscles, then the blood gets to stay. And as long as they are together, the platelets then aggregate and then begin to form a clot.
Clots.
Danger is that when these clots form, it gets bigger, may get bigger and bigger, and then it may dislodge. Now this clot, as we saw in the clip, will then move up your vessels or veins, and then like the blood is trying to get to the heart, go into the lungs to go and get oxygen and come back. It gets into the heart through the inferior vena cava, and the heart will want to push it into the lungs to go and get oxygen.
Right.
If the clot is big, then it blocks the pulmonary artery.
Right.
And then blood cannot flow to the heart and your lungs to get oxygen.
Yeah.
And then that can lead to sudden death.
Right. Not a very pleasant situation, of course. So, I mean, is it fair to say then the veins are more or less like hosepipe? Just they're on their own. It's the muscles around them that contract them and push.
That's right. So,
so it's like having a hose pipe and stepping on it.
That's right.
And that's when the water comes out and eats away.
That's right.
Great. Now, what are the causes? I mean, we've already established that, immobility, or just not moving a constant, but there must be other causes.
Definitely.
Obviously, because thrombosis can happen not only in the lower extremities but in the arms as well.
Yeah, usually in the lower extremities. We have arterial thrombosis. For example, if we talk about heart attack, people get heart attacks. Those are arterial thrombosis.
Okay.
But we are talking today about venous thrombosis, and because of the physiology we've talked about, it usually happens mainly in the calf and then in the thighs, and then the clots can move. For example, if you are traveling in a plane, and we are always encouraged that as you are, especially the economy class, I call it the economy class syndrome, because you are squeezed the next person to you, no more space.
Yep.
If you have certain predisposing factors, like you are obese, you have a clotting problems with the clotting system, you are usually advised to sit by the aisle seat so that you can make movements as even flying for long distances, 10 hours flight, 15 hours flight. You're encouraged to move. Not necessarily height. It's more about length of time of immobility.
Okay.
Now, people who are obese are prone to also having DVTs, and people who have undergone surgeries, you go and have a surgery, you'll be in bed for a while. You are not likely to be moving your feet whilst you're in bed because of immobility. Then you are also prone to form clots.
Right.
And that one, once you're in hospital, the doctors will be taking care of it, giving you prophylaxis so that you don't form the clots. People who are taking oral contraceptive pills are also at risk of forming these clots. And then also pregnancy is also a risk factor for forming clots. The idea with the pregnancy forming and giving the higher risk a bit is because it's a form of a nature's way to say that you don't want the baby to be bleeding. So the mother's system takes on a clotty kind of profile or state so that the baby doesn't also bleed too much when the baby is born. In any case, when babies are born, realize that they are always giving vitamin K injection so that they have vitamin K to help clotting, because you don't want the baby to have hemorrhages. So we are looking at situations that would somebody gets a fracture and then has a cast on. If you have a cast on your whole leg or somewhere in your leg, you are not moving it that much. Chances are that you could also form clot in the veins. So these predisposing factors are there, apart from people also who have genetic predispositions, but those are just academic stuff I wouldn't want to bring out. Certain deficiencies in certain proteins and thrombin, those are big words, but let's look at the big things. The main thing that in our everyday life, I don't want to go the academic stuff.
Okay, so how do we diagnose DVT?
Before I look at that one, let me tell you a story of this man who had symptoms of DVT, but he didn't know, and he was lucky he lived. You give an example of somebody who died in an aeroplane. He was traveling over a long distance, just sitting down for 10-15 hours, not moving. In any case, somebody was even saying that now that we are driving automatic cars, we shouldn't be careful.
Keep the left foot.
The left is not moving, so you are driving from here to the northern region, and for so many hours, just moving the right and not moving the left. So make an effort to be moving. Even play some music and be tapping it, and then enjoying yourself. So it's important. Now, so this man had a swollen calf, pain in his calf, and then whilst he was in Ghana, he was just applying all kinds of liniment, ointment, and taking painkillers. It wasn't going. The pain was still persistent, and he didn't go to the hospital because he thought maybe muscle pull, or be I've hit my leg against something. He went on and he went to the US. He went on a visit in the US, and the thing was still there. The pain was still there. The right leg was a little bit more swollen. The calf was a little bit more swollen than the other one, and the swelling was increasing. Over there, the family members were helping. They kept doing it. Then he realized that no, this cannot be possible, that I will have just a normal muscle pain and for weeks and weeks it's not going. So he then went to the hospital over there. Lo and behold, he had a deep vein thrombosis that has embolized, that pulmonary embolism moved into the heart, and for him, he was lucky. The clot wasn't big enough to block
the
artery, and then had landed in his lungs. So that's a pulmonary embolism thing. So when you have pain in your calf or pain anywhere in your legs, don't take it lightly. I mean, if you take painkillers a day or two and you are not seeing anything, and you realize that one of your legs is a bit warmer than the other, and there's a swelling, there's redness around your calf and of your legs, it's important to take the necessary steps to be examined. And then we come to look at what examination we will do.
Yeah.
So practically, to look at what investigations we do, is basically the best thing is to do a scan, and we call it the Doppler ultrasound. That will look at the focuses on the veins of the legs,
right,
all through from the lower extremities all through your thighs. So they go through and then be able to localize if there is a particular spot on the in the venous drainage that has a clot in there or not.
Okay.
And then another thing we do is one thing called the D-dimer. The D-dimer is an index which would increase in your system when clotting is formed.
So that's just a simple test that you take?
It's a simple test, yeah.
Okay.
A blood test. You do that and say that if the D-dimer is high, it means that your clotting is more likely to be higher.
Right.
And if it's going down, it's lower. So we do that, and then some other further tests can be done if we are looking at what possibly could have caused the clot to be formed. But basically, it's about imaging.
Okay. Can varicose veins be a sign that you could be potentially susceptible to DVT?
Yeah, you have varicose veins, and I'm sure people know what varicose veins are. Some we see at the back of their legs,
where the vein is protruded,
like spidery arrangement of veins.
Yeah.
Like instead of going maybe straight, they are tortuous. Tortuous. That could also lead to stasis. It leads to slowing down. Instead of the vein going straight and then moving faster, already there is a difficulty in blood moving up against gravity.
Right. So if
when there is that contortion or the tortuousness, it makes it even harder to move. But then again, that is a superficial thing. Varicose veins are superficial veins. Now, they would then perforate, and whatever they have, they transfer it into the deep veins. Right? So varicose veins will not necessarily lead to DVT,
okay,
but it happens in the deep veins when they have been able to send whatever they have in them into the perforator veins, into the deep veins that would move the blood up.
Okay. And finally, what do you call it? Treatment.
Yeah. When we notice that you have deep vein thrombosis, we usually would want to keep you in hospital for a while and monitoring your leg. So your leg will be you'll be in bed, your bed will be measuring the diameter of your leg almost every day.
Yeah, to see
if the swelling is coming down.
Yeah.
In the interim, whilst you are on that, we put you on what we call anticoagulants, things that would make thin your blood or blood thinners.
Yeah.
So we make sure that your blood doesn't clot anymore. Like you don't form clots.
Coagulation is the clotting of the blood.
Yeah, coagulation is the clotting of the blood. So anticoagulants, heparin, you'll be giving heparin injections to make sure that you don't form new clots. And then as we monitor gradually to see that the swelling is going down. They may do all kinds every day when they come. You say you move your Homan sign, you call it, and then Pratt sign, not Kwesi Pratt. Pratt sign. You may touching your foot, your calf will give you pain, or it's Pratt sign. Now, so with that anticoagulation, it can be intravenous or subcutaneous. You'll be giving injections to ensure that. And then there is the other one that I'm sure people have heard that name, Coumadin or warfarin. Warfarin therapy that you be started on probably on the same day that they start the heparin. Yeah. Because like you take the warfarin tablets before it will actually peak into therapeutic levels in your blood. It's about 4 to 5 to 60 days to a week before it starts working. So even though you start the warfarin therapy today, you would have been started on the intravenous or the subcutaneous use of the heparin to make sure that you don't form clots, and then they monitor you closely. And then they'll be doing something called international normalizing INR every day. They'll be checking your ratio, clotting ratios, and then to make sure that everything is you are in the good range. Right. And then post that, even when you are discharged, you know that now you don't have a clot, they will still be monitoring you. There's a need for
back.
Yes, you can come back. You need to be monitoring yourself with your iron out all the time.
Dr. Bote, we've run out of time, but thank you so much for coming in once again and helping us with this particular topic. We've been talking about DVT, deep vein thrombosis, this morning, and hopefully you've got some education out of this as well. The segment is brought to you by Lipton Tea, inspiration flowing from nature, and we'll be back in just a few moments.